I think I would like to meet this person who made you think that sex shouldn't feel good. And she goes, oh, good. Well, good luck with that, because that man's dead. He has two cocks, which, okay. Love that. Love that.
Or at least use them both at the same time. Give us some double penetration action.
You're a dragon and I'm a human. Like, what the actual fuck? They're post marriage and his hormones are fucking like, rah. Oh, we're not doing that. Stop it. He's been fucking meowing at the door
Oh,
in order to bring me what?
baby.
Baby, come here. All right. But you can't go on my desk.
She's like, excuse me,
All right, come here.
but I need love.
But you can't be on my desk. I can't do that. We can't do that. He was very comfortable laying earlier because I was in bed and he lays like in between my legs and it's very weird. So please don't go on my desk. That's all I ask. Anyways, this is my life now. It's not even my cat, but apparently he is
It is
now.
now.
Can help. Ugh. How is your morning, Ben?
I have no idea.
Really?
I don't know.
The strawberries and whipped cream.
Raspberries, but yeah,
Cool.
Cool Whip. Raspberries
Nice.
and Cool Whip.
I don't like Cool Whip.
I
The
love Cool
taste of
Whip.
Cool Whip grosses me out.
I would just drink it. I love Cool Whip.
Yeah,
I do the Cool Whip. I do the Cool Whip.
it's funny. I don't
I
know.
make
It's
so much
something like,
shit out of Cool Whip.
oh, I just don't like the taste of it.
Like I will mix protein powder with it and make it into a dip. I will
Um,
mix like all kinds of shit. This is just plain Cool Whip. I'm just eating Cool Whip,
yeah, I left my coffee.
but
Yeah.
I utilize Cool Whip a lot. And I
I
probably
just,
shouldn't, but
I
it's
don't know.
delicious.
I don't know. It's just like the taste of it I don't like.
It's probably really bad for me, but I love it. Yeah, it has a lot of less ingredients. Oh yeah, look
Yeah.
at that. Second ingredient is corn syrup. Lovely.
He must have found something on my blanket because he's like licking it. Okay. Well, I mean, my morning's been fine, minus the cat meowing and trying to open my door.
I read a book, not the book I was supposed to read, but I read a book.
Oh, really?
Mm, I guess
What
that
did you read?
counts. A shifter book.
Ooh,
Mm,
nice.
it's okay. It's decent and it has great potential, but there's definitely some continuity errors from book to book. So it's
Gotcha.
like it kind of just like ugh.
Uh,
I'd be super more into it if
the continuity wasn't
yeah,
there.
like
Just me too.
I don't know. I don't know why that's so hard. Like if I was I'd have like the whole time I'd have everything written. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
either.
know why shit like that is so hard.
I don't know.
G- You'd like some Cool Whip, huh, buddy?
Probably. So, happy whatever month this is.
It's August still. Still. It's been August for a long time, feels like.
Welcome to almost the end of August. And you're probably thinking, wow, weird. Crystal's voice on a regular episode. Surprise, bitches. It's because we're pretty much at the end of our wheel. And we decided the final two books were going to be I choose one for Ariel and she chooses one for me. And then we just coexist.
Yep.
This week we read The Dragon's Bride, A Deal with a Demon by Katie Roberts. And I have read Katie Roberts before because I started reading her, is it Dark Olympus? Is that what it's called? That doesn't sound
I
right.
think so.
Yeah, where it starts with Neon Gods, and I like that series a lot. I'm enjoying it.
That is what brought us here today.
Yes, she does have some content notes. Domestic abuse, historical off page, but the heroine is dealing with the aftermath of getting out of that relationship. Murder, off page. Human/non-human sex, undiscussed anal. Size difference, explicit sex, breeding, light choking, injuries for blood magic, small incidental injuries, pregnancy epilogue, and birth epilogue. Yeah.
I love how it
And
gives trigger warnings for things that aren't even in the main book because I had to do a special link to get the epilogue.
oh, for the bonus epilogue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that had those triggers in it.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Now listen.
Just covering all our
Yeah,
bits here.
our bits and bobs.
Yeah.
But 3 days ago, Briar didn't even think that demons existed. And now she is currently signing a contract with one. But she is absolutely desperate. She's been trying to get
Evidently,
away.
we have aliens, so
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
we
I
could all be
mean,
doing this for nothing.
oh, God. Please take me away.
Take me away. The sweetest.
You're being such a good boy.
Tickle kitty.
He is such a good cat, though. Honestly, when he's not being a fucking menace, this is how he is 90%. He's slept. He sometimes will just sleep in my room. Just to sleep in there. I know I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. So Briar has been trying to get away from her husband Ethan because he's an abusive asshole. We're just gonna put it straight up there. And part of this, I was like, oh, okay, so this is continuing our 2025 calling us out thing. Cool. And so she thought like there had to be some way out, and now she's getting a deal with a demon, and she had been desperate. So I've been calling him Azazel. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but I'm calling him Azazel. And he is reading her contract, making sure that everything is good and that everyone knows what's in it. And she's just like fine with whatever. Basically, she needs to enter into this agreement. And this agreement is for 7 years before, like, he will do what she needs. And he's trying to make it clear to her, like, you have to enter this willingly. Part of the contract says that if she becomes pregnant, the child will not return with her to the realm, her human realm, upon completion of the contract. And she stares at him and is like, you left that out when you went over the offer last time. And he says he just didn't want her to get the wrong idea, but he's just covering all bases. He's a demon. Okay, come on. Have we learned nothing about demons? He does make it clear she is not required to do anything,
That she
which
doesn't want
is
to do.
exactly. But he will give the person of his choosing the opportunity to seduce her. And she's like, why fucking 7 years? And he explains that seven's just, it's a very powerful number. So that's why they do a 7 year contract. It doesn't make sense to Briar, but that's fine, whatever. And she agrees to it. She is concerned, though, about what her disappearance would be for 7 years. Because she's like, I can't just like disappear for 7 years and like show back up. What do? Turns out it's actually just 7 years in the demon realm, which is equal to like a few hours to a few months back in her own. And she'll basically return as if she never left.
It
So,
would be like a month tops in
yeah.
human
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, so after she signs the contract, Azazel says normally he requires payment before he fulfills the terms of the contract, but he is inclined to make an exception this time. And he says she is his merchandise. And that means her husband has damaged what is his. So, what does he do? He goes off and kills her husband.
Bada bing, bada boom. Comes
Because I
back
mean,
bloody handed, red handed, literally red handed.
honestly, I feel like he has just such a soft spot for her. And before we got fully into this, I was thinking, oh, okay, so like maybe it's not Azazel with the book. I knew this ahead of time, but I was thinking, I was like, oh, I kind of like him though.
He has a book.
He does, I know. Isn't
Yeah.
that it is one of the books.
That's the one that I actually wanted us to read. So
Oh,
that's funny.
and
Yeah.
I didn't pick that one.
That's okay.
It's fine. So yeah, he kills her, kills her husband, which is so
He
funny.
kills
Yeah. Once he's done, he tells her it's time to go.
her.
When she wakes up the next day, she's in a strange bed and she is naked. She is going to be prepared to go to an auction. A healer
Be
took care of all her
prepared.
injuries, and she is going to get ready to go. There's obviously other women there because it's an auction. They're
Auction.
all wearing different colored dresses, and she's just thinking she may as well get this over with.
I do
So
love me a monster auction, not gonna lie.
I know you do. I
I
think you
don't know
just like
why.
I just think you love an auction in
I
general.
do. I do. I do. Anyways,
Soul is the dragon in this story, and he expected this auction to just be a trap. Like his life would be so much easier if he just married one of the eligible dragon women in his territory. But unfortunately, his responsibilities to the greater good means like he can't do that. He has to marry a human. We do get explained why this whole it has to do with magic and all that other shit. But yes, so he Azazel has like dangled the possibility of a human bride. Of course, so the demon guy and his people are the only ones who can cross the human realm. So Soul is there to get himself a human bride. The other people who are there are taking their turns picking who they want. And they're calling out by their name, like their dresses. And when one of them picks the one in the yellow dress, Zazel kind of steps in and tells them to pick another one. He doesn't answer as to why they can't pick the one in the yellow dress, but he just says, pick another one.
that
And
one's his.
yeah, and Soul ends up picking the white dress. And they're gonna get all the contracts. All of this honestly happens super fucking quickly. Like this is the quickest auction known to man at
Yeah, it
this
was a
point.
little anticlimactic for
Yeah.
me.
And when the lights come up, Briar gets her first look at the small group of men, and her false sense of calm starts to kind of just like go away. And now she's thinking, fuck, like, well, no matter how big of monsters they are, can they really be worse than Ethan, which Ethan is her now dead husband? She's about to pass out, but another woman catches her and tells her to be steady. And Azazel comes over to the group and says that there is a secondary contract that needs to be signed, and then they will all be released into the custody of the ones who claimed them. Obviously, we know who claimed her. It is Soul. He is about half a foot like taller than the demon, which means that Briar barely comes to his chest if they stand next to each other. And it's time to begin this agreement. And it will be like slightly more unconventional than the others because, as promised in the other like original contract, she's not going to be forced or coerced, but she has to allow Soul the opportunity to seduce her. Dragon culture is a bit more stringent, so they need to be married in order for this whole thing to happen. And she is like, I'm sorry, what? She's like, I am fucking already married. And Zazel's like, well, I mean, technically, you're a widow now. And she's like, I don't even want to get married again. And the demon's trying to reassure her that she's not going to be harmed because obviously he knows like her past and all the stuff that kind of brought her to this. So he is like really reassuring her like she's going to be safe and he's not going to let pretty much anything bad happen to her. But everybody's going to agree. We learn that she also has a translation spell and that's like inked into her body, which she got while she was passed out because before the auction. We learned that Ramanu will be checking on her periodically just to make sure she's good. And then when she's done after 7 years, she is free. So solid. So they head back to Soul's territory. And now she is about to be married to him. Their marriage ceremony is actually like super chill. So they get back to their place. He takes her down to reach ground floor, blah, blah, blah. They're going to walk out to this like beautiful little water area. I forgot the word for it, but it's fine. Literally have in my notes, literally their ceremony is about 1.5 seconds long. Their marriage. It's longer than that, but um Briar asks how they would have kids. He discusses how like it's necessary for them to be married because of the potential of her maybe having a child. So because of the whole culture of the dragons, like they have to be married. And she's like, how would we even fucking have a kid together? Because like you're a dragon and I'm a human. Like what the actual fuck? Apparently the magic mixes in a way that prevents her when she has a dragon baby into not killing her. They're born humanoid size and features, and then they become more dragon-like as they grow into their first year. And there has not been a human child in generations, and that is why she's there. And Soul reassures her that no one's going to force her to do anything at all. And honestly, like her constant like questioning is definitely all the trauma that she has from her douche nugget of an ex, which again, understandable and terrifying. So they go to this secret grove place where they're going to have the marriage ceremony. They're going to enter the spring one at a time. So they enter separately and emerge as one. That's the marriage. Literally, that's it. While this means really nothing to her, this means everything to him. And when they enter the water, she finds herself watching Soul and Soul is watching her. And she like shifts her eyes towards his pants and learns he has two cocks, which, okay. Love that. Love that. We love a multi-cock thing. And
Yes.
she's curious how they're going to fit. And he reassures her that they will fit, but tells her to stop talking about his cock unless she intends to do something about it. She doesn't really intend to do any of that, so she's going to stop. Soul is trying to rationalize all of this in his head because, like, while he is not a beast, well, he's a dragon, so I guess he desires her. And typically, after the marriage ceremony, their instincts go like insane. And if he was anybody else, he could marry for love, but it's fine. He can't. But his happiness is not worth sacrificing the health of an entire territory. So they do their little ceremony, and when they're done, he sweeps her into his arms and carries her back to the house, puts her right in front of the bedroom door, and lets her know that she'll find everything she needs through there, and he'll have supper sent up and asks if she has any dietary restrictions. She does get a little sassy and says, not unless it's poison, which, bitch, shut up. And he tells her to just rest until morning. Briar is getting ready to take a bath, and then someone knocks at her door, and it's a brown dragon who brings her food, lets her know that they've got a fire going, and to give Soul a little bit of grace because there's going to be some adjustments. So, like, basically chill, you know, like but
She's not the
Soul
only one who's
having to
having an
readjust.
right a
Yeah.
life upturned. Yeah.
Yeah. So Soul doesn't actually even come see her for the next few days. And while this should be a relief to her, she's kind of really fucking bored. Like I would be too. She does wear the clothes that they have provided for her and they fit absolutely perfect. And then there's a knock on her door and it has her heartbeat racing. And she has to remind herself it's fear, not excitement, girl. We know what it is. But the person who walks through is not Soul. It is Romanu, who is literally just coming to check in on her, letting her know that she has nothing to fear because Azazel would skin them alive for touching one of his contracted humans. But they also like their playmates with a little bit more spice. But now they need to go find her husband because they have not talked to each other in days. When they get to the library, they just kind of like bust in, and Soul is instantly asking what the actual hell Romanu wants. And Romanu says, well, someone has been neglecting their bride. And they touch the hem of her dress, but they don't actually touch her skin. And Soul is like, get your hands off of her. And Romano is just basically baiting him and lets him know that they'll be around at some point to check on her. And maybe he would have stopped being a coward by then and then leaves. Briar apologizes and says she didn't realize that they intended to like bait him or she wouldn't have come with them. And she asked why he even bargained with Azazel because he took such a great risk with that. And he just says that there was a time when the realms were closer together or easier to cross. And there's a lot of theories that of why this changed, and no one knows kind of quite for sure what happened. And obviously, humans used to be there in greater numbers. Basically, they're just trying to do shit to get humans there. And then he asks her if Romanu frightened her, and she kind of lies and says that they did. Like, and asks if
Save
she
me.
save me and asks if she could just sit with him until she calms down. Briar thinks that he's going to send her back to her room, but he does not. She's shocked that he's just going to let it happen, and he pulls her onto his lap. Briar decides to ask him again, how would it work, like the sex thing, since that's why he was at the auction. And Soul tells her, like, we don't need to talk about this, but she thinks they do. But if he had intended to seduce her, he is kind of going about it super strangely. He lets her know that, like, you didn't even want to be married. Like, you were married before, and that's why you made your bargain with Azazel. But she has no idea what that has to do with anything. But she does say that she does think that her husband was going to kill her before he would ever let her go. And Soul finally caves in because she keeps pushing it, asking why he wouldn't want sex if she was offering it. And he says, listen, okay, look, I'm not interested in splitting you in half, but I am going to take my fill and I'm going to have you begging for me. And I will give you both my cocks at the same time. And he starts telling her exactly what he plans to do and tells her that if she is so determined to think of him as a monster, then he will play monster for her. And this, of course, gets her heart going and she just runs out of the room. Like, okay. And she's just thinking, oh, that fucking asshole. But at the same time, all she can think about is him and his body and his two cocks. And then she decides to masturbate. Cool. Soul felt really bad, by the way, and he goes to apologize, and he definitely overheard her getting herself off in the bedroom. He really wants to know what her history is because the only thing he has is the little tiny scraps that Azazel had given him, but he also doesn't want to like force her to tell him the things. He also knows that Azazel doesn't give anything for free, and if he goes to him with questions, this will show that he's kind of really fucking this up right now. We get a little bit of
And there'll be a price.
yes. I mean, you gotta know, there's always a price with demons.
Yes.
Duh. We get a little bit of history that he originally did have somebody he wanted, but his parents put a stop to them getting married because the lady was a dragon and, he wants children. He always has. Soul decides it is time to seduce his wife properly. Sounds good. Briar is pacing around and she feels kind of really bad. She was definitely an asshole and she really pushed him. So she dresses in this really nice deep green dress. She's got no makeup on. She's got her freckles on display, which her ex husband used to think was really childish. Honestly, her ex husband is a piece of garbage. So, like, blah. But she loves them and she plans to reclaim everything that man took from her, no matter how long it takes. And then comes a knock on the door, and it is Soul, and he's bringing her plants. It's a gift from his mom. It's cute. And then Briar apologizes for overstepping, and he says, "Listen, like, if I didn't like it, I would tell you, never apologize for anything." She just keeps apologizing. And he also apologizes and says that he was just trying to scare her and he shouldn't have. She lets him know that she was not scared. And he lets her know that he overheard her. He's like, I did go to apologize because he didn't want her to feel like she wasn't wanted. But he will answer her questions if she wants, and they're off to go eat dinner. She asks him why he married her because she just wants to know the full truth. Why not marry another dragon? And we learn that there's just something about the biology or whatever of humans that make them basically the best conductor of magic, which then assists the whole realm with like their crops and blah 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 magic. So as a leader, his responsibility is to the people, and so he has to make those sacrifices. She's also worried about the child thing because she is concerned about having to have a baby, take care of it for 7 years, and then walk away. And understandable, it's just going to take such a toll on her. He says that they're sure they can find a way around it and they have 7 years to figure it out. They don't have to have all the answers tonight. But she just says that answer is not going to change. There is no to babies. Briar kind of just realizes like she is just punishing Soul for, telling her the truth. And honestly, like it would just be much better if a baby was not in the picture for them. Soul gives her a pendant and lets her know that the pendant is birth control. Basically, all she needs to do is put her blood in there, and then she has to reactivate it on the first day she starts a period every month, and it's good for decades. She can verify it works by asking Romanu if she would like. They don't have a reason to lie to her, but Soul just wants her to feel comfortable. So she decides to get a little reckless and asks him to lend her a tooth. And she pricks her finger and then puts the blood into the pendant and asks, "What if they try sex?" Like, okay. And he asks if she's just saying that because she wants sex or because she's running away from something in her head. Oh, he clocks her so hard. She's like, "I want you. And also, that doesn't matter." And he says, "Listen, I'm not going to pretend I don't want you." And like, really make sure that she wants this. And she goes, "Sure." And then he rips her dress off. And then he starts to finger her. And then he eats her out. And when he's finally done, he goes to leave and he tells her, "Listen, you've had enough." And she goes, "You do not get to decide that. I do." And he tells her, "You don't know what you're asking for." And she goes, "I do, though. But like, I can't take both of them, but I could do one." And he just looks at her because she's like, "I just want it to be good, like, and feel really good." And he just looks at her and says, "I think I would like to meet this person who made you think that sex shouldn't feel good." And she goes, "Oh, good. Well, good luck with that, because that man's dead." Like, which is so funny. But she does not want to talk about him. And that Soul doesn't even scare her, even when she doesn't like what he's saying or, his goals or everything. She's really not scared of him. And then he finally caves and that they're going to do this, but she is going to take the lead. She wraps both her hands around the head of his cock. And I don't know why I stumbled on that word for a second. I said that word so many times. She tells him that he looks like he's in pain and asks him if he's going to lose control. And he says, "Not this time." And this gives Briar a feeling so powerful because she goes, "Yeah, I'm in control of this shit." And when she gives one of his two cocks a stroke, now she really wants to fuck him. But they're only going to be able to do one cock in her because she's not ready to take both of them. And so she's going to take the lower one, and the top one is just going to be between. So, like, sounds good. And
Underachiever.
I know, right? Like, come on. Step it up. Step up your game. But so that's what they do. And he puts the power into her hands and wants her to take control and make herself feel good. And then she begs him to fuck her and says that she wants him to fill her up and make her feel good at the end. He double checks with her to make sure that, once they all finish, like, he's like, "I didn't take it too far." And she says no and asks if she was too much. And he tells her, "Listen, bedroom games are what they are, and I promised I wouldn't remove the pendant, and I won't. But if you want to keep playing pretend like breeding games in the bedroom, I am more than happy to because, she's like, breed me and everything, but like, don't actually breed
Well,
me."
she didn't say those words, but it's more like
Fill
give
me
it to
up.
me. You're right. Yeah, yes.
Fill me up,
Right.
Ariel.
Right.
Fill me up.
Yes.
She won't, yeah. She wants to be bred without being bred. I get it.
Yeah.
She wants to be a Twinkie, you know. But yeah, so she is quite sore afterwards, obviously, and he helps give her a bath to help her. She also explains that she does not want to share him and that they need to be exclusive. And he agrees. And her brain is still going through like super traumatic things of comparing the two men together. So, like, current husband, Soul, dead one, douche nugget. And Soul is super understanding about this and asks if she would like to see the library. And, obviously she can't read dragon speak, but he lets her know that there is another translation spell that she could use to read, and he'll reach out to Azazel to get that for her. So that was really sweet. I thought that was really nice because he is trying. He's trying so hard to make her feel comfortable. Soul realizes through the night that Briar suffers from nightmares when she sleeps. And it's like terrifying nightmares. And he just cuddles her to try to help her. He sends word to Azazel to get the request for the translation spell, and the demon says that he will send Romanu. Fucking Romanu is such a shit disturber. Like, he goes to see her after he sends the message and lets her know that she was dreaming last night. And while she doesn't want to talk about it, if she ever decides that talking may help, he is there to help talk with her through it. Also, that Romano will be there shortly with a balm that will help her soreness and also with the translation spell. But for now, he's going to give her another bath and carry her around, which is so cute. We also learned that when dragons get married, they get very territorial. So right now, no one is in this castle. Very, very, very few people are like super old people because they've been through that before. But most of the people are not there, and it's better for everybody that they make themselves scarce. And he does again reiterate that there will be nobody else and no one else will do. Briar also states that like he's so different talking to her like this versus the bedroom, but she does really like how he talks to her during sex and that he makes her feel so cherished. And then Romanu shows up, and Romanu, as I said, is a shit disturber. And there to give the bomb, as well as put the new translation spell on her. And they get very handsy putting this mark on her and is completely provoking Soul the whole time. It is so funny. Everything does go well, and then Romanu leaves. And now Soul wants to claim her again because as we stated, they're post marriage and his hormones are fucking like rah, you know. But she is still sore. So instead, he's going to put the balm on her. And while it's not numbing, it is specially formulated to heal her. So he fingers her with the balm. And he talks about Romanu because he's still jealous and kind of eggs her on, saying, well, they would definitely spear you with their cock. And Briar reassures him that she wouldn't let them and says, because I am yours. And then he eats her out and she begs him to fuck her. And he tells her that he's going to mark her and she says please do, and so they fuck. She also during sex is like you need to fuck me even harder, and before he comes like his okay, so he pulls out and one of his cocks comes on her, and then it comes across her ass, and then he shoves his second cock into her and then fucks her ass with his tail and works his cum into her ass. That is the anal play without asking they were talking about.
They were on board. I don't know.
I mean, absolutely. But yeah, then his second orgasm empties inside of her, and she says she's going to need more balm after this, but not to apologize because she felt great. They don't go to the library for, 2 more days because they're just fucking and cuddling. And his desk keeps piling up with work because they have literally been doing nothing for the past 2 days. But she kind of just wants to like hang out with him in the library. Mostly he also wants it because of the whole mating frenzy thing, but tells her that she needs to eat. And they sit together and she just asks how is she supposed to do this all the time? And I felt like this would be what Ariel would question is how am I supposed to sit here and do nothing for like 7 years? Just literally nothing because she is bored. But she's also never really relaxed in her entire life. And again, Ariel.
I
I
mean,
understand it though because I also couldn't do this. But he reminds her that she's only been there for a week and there is no shame in taking time for leisure and giving herself space to find her feet. She thinks it's great, but like he says this now, but surely he's going to start to resent her as time goes on because again, she gets in her head. She just does not know how to relax. And he even asks her like, "Do you want to do something else?" And she doesn't know how to answer this. And he's like, "What do you want to do?" Which honestly, that's a hard question to answer. It's like, what do you want to do?
yeah,
I don't fucking know.
yeah.
And she doesn't have an answer for a while. At night, it's great because they just fuck, and during the day, she's trying to find things to do. And he finally asks her if she's happy there. And she asks, why shouldn't she be happy? While she doesn't have the answer to his question, she is happy there. And, you know, maybe this would be easier if she had an answer. So Soul tells her that maybe they should just get out of there tomorrow for a little bit because he would like to show her the land. And honestly, like, she's thrilled about this because she has not left this keep in since she fucking arrived. And while she's concerned about predators out in like the woods and stuff, he reassures her that he is the most dangerous predator. He doesn't tell her about all the stuff that's like inside the lake, but we don't need to scare her. They go swimming and he lets her know that he spent a lot of time there as a child. They talk about their childhood a little bit. But he only kind of like broadly explains why his parents didn't have more children. And it really brings into perspective as to why he wants kids so bad, especially when he talks about the territory and the magic and all that other stuff. Her brain tells her that like she could solve some of these problems. And she just shoves that little voice away. She really likes him, but she can't do this because raising somebody for 7 years, like just to leave. But then her other part of her brain is like, what if this doesn't end in 7 years? Because whatever. But that also hurts worse because what she's discovered about Azazel and the Bargainer demons is they hold on to the power supply in the realm, and she cannot imagine that he will let her stay past her end date. So all Soul can think about is the fact that this past month has just been so fucking perfect. And he really does wish that this could go further than 7 years. They both want this to extend, but neither one of them wants to say it to the other person that they want this to keep going. After they're all done with their beautiful day out, she thanks him for the day, and he again thinks what would happen like when he finally loses her. And his mind spirals, and she asks him what's wrong, and he says nothing. She calls him out for lying, but he says like he would just rather not talk about it. And she responds back to him with the exact same thing that he said to her before, which was if he changes his mind, she is there. But then she asks him if he remembers what he said to her the day they met, which was if she ran, he would chase her. And then she tells him to chase her. And okay, Briar hadn't thought beyond giving him something to think about other than what was bothering him, but the thought of chasing her has plagued her since day one, and now she needs it. So that's what they do. She runs and he chases,
And he
and
ran.
yeah, and he gets really aggressive, and then he catches her and she doesn't want to stop. And he tells her, listen, if you run again, I am going to fuck you into the dirt. And you know what she does? Tempts fate and tries to do it again. And he finally
She wants
catches,
that.
yeah, she does. And he finally catches her and she stops fighting it. And her brain is thinking, put a baby in me. And that's literally her brain. And he is like fucking
She
her.
wants forever with him.
Yeah, and he's like trying to fill her up and she's fill me up. It's so weird. I'm like, okay, fill me up. All right, sounds good. And then he puts his like little finger in her pendant and they stop and he looks at her. They don't verbally consent, but she doesn't stop him. And then he rips the pendant off of her neck. Now, if we
He's giving her the
remember,
look like, say something or I'm going to rip this.
yeah, afterwards she goes, listen, I would rather not talk about it. Okay,
Yeah,
because
we don't need to
that's
have a whole discussion about it.
it
I was here,
happened. It
like, right.
happened. Yeah.
We were here together.
Yeah. He asks if he hurt her, and she says no, and that she's fine. He calls her a liar, but he says he's going to carry her back. And now Briar thinks that, oh, she fucked up because he's in a mood now. So, oops, Soul does not go back to the lake to collect all of the things because he's feeling really fucking bad about everything because his instincts just took over. Briar keeps trying to talk to him about it, but he does not want to talk about anything, but he wants to take good care of her, and he is basically doing everything he can to avoid talking about it. He sends a scroll to Azazel letting him know that there was an incident and he needs another pendant immediately. As he's writing this, Briar comes in and asks what he's doing and asks why he's being so strange. And he says he's not. And she calls him out for lying to her again. And they get into a little mini argument about it. But she's also saying, you're not the only person who is participating in what we did. And he goes, that is not the point. Ripping off your pendant and then fucking you was taking the game too far. And this is when Azazel decides to show up and he is livid because he is accusing him of violating the contract because he is not supposed to hurt the other person. And normally, when you hurt the other person, the contract will automatically ping,
Or like flare up.
but
Yeah.
it didn't. But Azazel's pissed because this is technically hurting her because he's like, did you consent to having his children? And she goes, well, no, but we haven't talked about it since our first conversation. And Azazel's like, yeah. And during that conversation, did you agree? And she goes, well, no. And then he takes her away. And fucking Briar is pissed.
Everyone's
She
pissed.
is so fucking yeah. And she's like, I was still fucking safe. It is fine. And Azazel says, that is not the point. He gives her a new pendant that can prevent pregnancy. It's like a magical plan B, is what she calls it. And he tells her, like, you were under my care. Your safety is my responsibility. Briar gets really aggressive with him because she is just so pissed. She's like, he did not fucking hurt me. And she's trying to make it so clear that this was a mistake and she needs to be taken back now. Um, okay.
Right, meow.
Yeah. Ramanu even shows up and Briar explains to them, like, you know that he would rather cut off his own arm before he hurt me. And Romano says, listen, you kind of have to understand, well, he's this big bad dude, Azazel, he's just an overprotective daddy bear when it comes to his contracts, regardless of your intent. He only sees the bottom line. And Briar says, fine, I will find another way myself. But Romano is like, you need to have patience. And if you won't have patience on your own, I'm going to persuade you. And then knocks her out. Soul is heading to the Bargainer Demon's territory. It takes him 3 days. Normally, it would take him 5, but like fear has really overtaken him. And he just shows up and asks if Briar is okay. But then Azazel says, if you have something to say, say it. And he explains that he had a lot of time to think while he walked. And he realized that Azazel, he's not doing these deals to take over territories. Like, he doesn't actually want these territories. And Azazel says, listen, you wouldn't have believed the gift without the strings attached. So I made some. But Azazel makes it clear he realizes that everybody thinks that they keep the humans as their playthings, but that's not how it works. And now Soul harmed one of his, and he will never forgive him for that. And then Briar shows up. Azazel stops her from launching herself into his arms because he's like, I will literally send you back to the human realm if you do that. Like he is trying to protect her. He's mad. She asks if she's pregnant. She's not, by the way. And then Briar asks, how does the end of the contract work? Azazel says that should I allow you back with the dragon, at the end of 7 years, I will collect you and I will offer you a choice to return to your realm or stay in mine. Briar says, cool, since we're in agreement, I'm returning with Soul. And in the future, should I need your assistance, I will call you. And then they head back, and she tells Soul that they need to talk. Briar had a lot of time to think over the past like 3 days, and she's literally not the same person she was a month ago, which honestly, like, same. Soul admits that he's sorry that things got out of hand, but Azazel wasn't exactly wrong in him harming her. But Briar's like, listen, dude, I was there. I didn't tell you to fucking stop. Stop trying to take all the responsibility on yours. And they really, really need to communicate. And he reassures her that it will not happen again. They basically tell each other they love each other. And it's cute. There's a bonus epilogue that I didn't download.
I did. It's 5 years into the future, and she has her baby, and they make a big deal about how they're not naming the baby Rose because that's her last name. They're going to name it a different flower. So,
I just that's funny.
who is your favorite character?
Ooh. Honestly, I really liked I really did like Azazel though. I kind of just I really want to read his book just because I just want to see things that happen. Because there was like points where they kind of mention Eve and there's obviously like history there. So I'm curious as to that whole situation. I'm assuming is it them, him and Eve?
Girl in the yellow dress. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested for that. But I did like him. Like even though he was demony, he still kind of had like morals, like weirdly as a demon. So I did like him a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Azazel. He's my favorite.
I was entertained by Romanu.
Fucking shit disturber.
Who is your least favorite?
Well, obviously the dumbass ex-husband.
Yeah.
For the no time we got him
We
on
didn't even
Cage,
get him
I
on
don't even
Cage.
care. I
Yeah.
hated him.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because I relate too hard to that having that man.
I feel yeah. We'll go with that.
Sounds fabuloso. Alrighty, so Amazon gives us a 4.1, Goodreads a 3.6, and Storygraph is a 3.58.
Where'd you sit?
I sit at a 3.5. I enjoyed the story. I had a really good time. I just wasn't a 4.0 good time, I
Yeah.
guess. Which is interesting because I think I really, like I said, I like the other series by Katie Roberts a lot.
I also rated it 3.5. I don't think there was enough.
Yeah, I think we're just missing
And
some information that I kind of really just wanted for them to
yeah,
continue.
and the spice was definitely underutilized and could have been, especially when you're going to tell us he has two
Did
and
I miss it that they didn't have two? She didn't do
they did
two?
not do
Okay.
two, you know.
Okay. That was a missed
So don't,
opportunity.
right, why would you tell us there's two and have her, oh, I
Maybe
don't
the
think I
plan
can
was
do
to
two.
eventually have, I don't
Sure,
know.
but then you even give us a bonus epilogue thinking that that's what,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
I fully agree. I fully agree. If you're gonna have to do two.
Right? Or at least use them both at the same time. Give us some double penetration action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But on that note,
Peppers.
I'm
Um,
gonna go with a jalapeno because there were two, but it
yeah.
wasn't crazy.
Same. That's where I'm gonna sit as well, as a jalapeno. Survivability, I'd be fine, but bitch, I would
I
have
would
taken those
also
two right
be
away.
fine. I would also be fine.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely. So yes, as we discussed last week, this week and next week are books specifically picked. Next week is Crystal's pick for me, so I will let her explain why she specifically chose this one.
Well, I just felt that I wanted Ariel to do an enemies to lovers book.
I feel
Realistically.
like we've done a lot of those lately.
Yeah, but it's not as like dark as like some of our enemies to lovers. So I kind of just like this sounds like something I want Ariel to do just because for shits and gigs.
Okay,
Um,
what are we reading?
and Single Dads. It is called The
Yeah,
6 Night Truce by Hannah Shield. Ahem. He's cocky, infuriating, irresistible, and he just saved my life. When I stepped into the courtroom this morning, I intended to fight for my client's life. I never expected to run for my own. Now the courthouse is in lockdown, and I'm trapped in a tiny room with my nemesis, the West Oaks PD cop who hates me most. He's a single dad with a growly attitude, a former Marine, and he's the star witness against my client. But it turns out Detective Sean Holt and I do have something in common. This threat against us is personal, and the maniac behind it wants us both dead. We have 1 week to catch whoever's trying to kill us, assuming we don't off each other first. But as we hunt down leads, I start to suspect I don't hate Sean Holt after all. I might even like him. And all this hostility is really turning me on. So, yeah.
solid. So yes, that will close out our month. So join us next week for that and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. One of us is wearing a bra today.
I'm always wearing a bra.
And it's
Well,
not me.
when we're on camera.
Yeah. Honestly,
Give me 5 minutes off camera.
yeah, give you 5 minutes off camera, Ariel. Is that
Yep,
all?
it'll
Is
be
that all
off.
we need?
Yep. Be like, freedom!
Oh my gosh.
No booby
Listen.
cages.
Oh God, I fucking hate a boob prison. They're like I hate them. Yes. Just so you know, in here it just calls him Zazzle sometimes. Why you made your bargain with an asshole. Well, not an asshole, a Zazzle. A Zazzle, but kind of. You know what? Azazel's not an asshole. I really like him. Just know it says us assholes. So.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.